was touch and go. How many times a day does 6-year-old Ajit have to sharpen his survival skills just to get across the road? Nalini to get the best out of the scrap dealer to whom she takes the pickings from the garbage dump? Ali, who's forced by his parents to beg to ensure his next meal is in place? Tara to get her fair compensation for the prawns she cleans at the Sassoon dock each week? Savita to ensure the safety of a 2-year-old brother who she stays home to look after? To stay alive in metropolitan Mumbai, these children are forced to live by the law of this concrete jungle, and only the fittest survive. In a city that houses scores of children, it seems to be easily accepted that some children have discussions on child rights, while others, who have to fight for their very survival, don't go to school. But not everybody forgets. There is an organization that works to ensure that these children too have access to school. And when that is not immediately possible, schools are created with access to the child. That organization is Door Step School.
Door Step School was established in Mumbai, India in 1988 and later expanded in Pune in 1993 with the aim of providing literacy to the marginalized sections of society. The organization built its program to address 3 major problems of public schools: non-enrollment, wastage, and stagnation. Door Step School provides education and support to the often forgotten children of pavement dwellers, slum dwellers, construction site families, and many other underprivileged families. Many of these children are not enrolled in school and have limited access to books and a place to study. Many children also drop out of school to work or care for younger children. With neither support nor resources at home, some children also suffer from very low learning levels.
The reason for starting Door Step School, or rather the focus of Door Step School, is addressing the problems our public education system faces. There are 3 major problems. One is non-enrollment, another is wastage, and third is stagnation. That is, wastage is children drop out very early from school and they don't complete their education. In stagnation is like even if they complete their education, their standard of education is learning is.
Door Step School Mumbai works with children and youth of urban, slum and pavement communities, and 8 MCGM schools, and Door Step School Pune, which was initiated in 1992, works with 100 construction sites and runs the Grow with Books project in 118 PMC and PCMC schools.
Whatever we are teaching them today, say reading and writing and ABCD and things like that, if they don't continue later on, they will definitely forget. There is no doubt about it. But what they will not forget will be the impressions which they carry with them of the school, of the teachers, of the visitors who come, and all the experiences they get in that short period of time when they are with us.
The organization's outreach in both cities, well over 30,000 children. Young men and women who, while seeking employment, have chosen work that is meaningful and brings them satisfaction, form the small army that makes this possible. Many who spent their childhood in circumstances similar to those of the children now themselves devote their time at Door Step School. They form a rapport with individuals, families, and leaders in the community as they go about identifying children who would benefit from the organization's community-based direct educational services, balwadis for preschoolers, study classes for first-generation schoolgoers, non-formal education classes for the out-of-school, and door-to-door libraries that help neo and semi-literates sustain and develop their literacy skills. If you walk into a non-formal education classes, especially the younger ones, are helped to get admission in the corporation schools so that they can continue their schooling through mainstream education. These non-formal education classes have been tailored to meet the need of out-of-school children in the urban slum community. Variants introduced along the way were lane-wise classes for the adolescent girl who was not permitted to venture out of the home without an adult escort, late evening classes for the working child, one-on-one classes for child domestic workers in the residential buildings in the vicinity, classes at the Sassoon docks for the children who accompanied their families to work there, and classes on the School on Wheels.
School on Wheel idea was actually started generating in mind of us since 1990, when very first batch of children we have found near the station, Churchgate and the VT station, and we did start the class for them near the station and the near VT station. But what I have seen, there was nothing concretely which we could give them, because today the class is there, tomorrow is there. Children also were not knowing that where the Didi is sitting today. So there was a lot of communication problem, and there was no common meeting time and point. So we did run the class for more than 2 to 3 years. And we couldn't give it any fruitful result. So that particular time, it was in thought has come in mind that if we would have our own vehicle which can be designed as a classroom and can be parked at various places where we find these children out of school.
Door Step School's first school on wheels was commissioned in 1998. The idea of running such a mobile classroom was first discussed almost at the inception of the organization as the only solution for reaching out to scattered groups of children. Back then, there were no takers of the idea due to the initial investment and recurring maintenance expense involved in running it. But when a proposal was put before the Consulate General Japan, they were quite intrigued and agreed to fund our first school on wheels. Since then, the organization has added 1 in Pune and 2 in Mumbai.
School on Wheels has been the signature program of Door Step School. The School on Wheels is a bus that is remodeled and equipped with all classroom supplies, including a computer, TV, DVD player, and educational audio-visual learning material to serve as mobile classroom. The bus reaches out to children of certain locations or construction sites where even a temporary classroom cannot be built, and therefore children have absolutely no access to education. Community learning centers are set up in a slum community to cater to the children who live here. These centers primarily offer a quiet place to study, read books, and finish homework, an environment otherwise not available to these children. These centers also offer computer classes, science experiment labs, a reading room, and study classes to guide children in their studies. A library service is also available at these centers, where the children can come to the center and select books of their own choice and take them home to read. A child-to-child library is also offered, where an older child from the community is given a bag of books to carry home and lend them to children from neighboring homes. Children now have easy access to books to read at home, without having to come to the Door Step School Center. Where the schools are within walking distance, Door Step School staff assist these children to walk to school and also bring them back to centers. Communities such as this benefit a great deal by the services of community learning centers. Without these services, these children otherwise would have dropped out of school within 1 or 2 years of enrollment. Door Step School, in its journey of 20 years, has touched lives of hundreds of thousands of children who otherwise would not have the opportunity to education. The Right to Education Act of Government of India, which made education a fundamental right of every child and made provision for free and compulsory education to all the children. Door Step School has been leading the efforts in supporting the Right to Education Act in its true spirit. In continuation to its endeavor in creating, supporting, and innovative programs for children's education, Door Step School launched a citizen campaign called Every Child Counts, which essentially helped in reaching many more construction sites in Pune and ensuring enrollment of all children of 6 to 7 years of age in schools and providing them school transport.
Our learnings in these 20 years and the processes that we have developed and the maturity of the processes that we have reached, we would like to share that by creating a scaling model through collaboration with other NGOs. This model will help us expand our work to more construction sites. Even though we are at more than 100 construction sites today, with the estimated number of 1500 construction sites, we are barely scratching the surface. By scaling through collaboration with other NGOs, we will be able to expand to more construction sites and thereby reaching more children who otherwise are deprived of the basic rights of education.
Literacy classes for children who are not able to attend school, who are already grown up and who have missed the bus. So they will not go to school, but we will teach them to the extent that they are fully literate. They should be able to read a newspaper. That is our definition of literacy.
The journey continues as long as there is a child out of school.